Hey, what's happening, people? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to a special presentation of Batman Arkham Knight. And we're going to be doing Red Hood tonight. Yeah, that's the right one. YouTube short is uploading. It will be available at 11:30. So we were on AR challenges. We're playing as Red Hood. So, that's the plan. Hopefully you guys having a good one. And let's see what happens with this tonight. Do this, do this. What in the world? There's no way I can... One sec, guys. I'm just uploading this. Link, why do you gotta be such a crazy cat, man? Hmm? This is not a Red Hood thing. That's not it. This is it. Alright. Sharkbait, Red Hood. Okay. We only have 50 people here? Wow. That's not good. Well, I guess Arkham's gonna be going on hiatus again. I just can't win between Legend of Zelda and Arkham. I just can't get people here at night anymore. There were a lot of people that got mad at the channel, though, because of the whole Nagato thing. That network that stole money, so we lost a lot of members. Because they were like, where's my money going? It's like, I don't know. But thankfully some of those people went to our Patreon, but still, it was pretty bad. So I have a special call to action newsletter that'll be going up, I believe tomorrow or Tuesday, before the end of the month. Just so we can, you know, hopefully just barely make it. Ah, where are you going? He doesn't know. He's like, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going. That's what I'm asking you, fool.
Simulation activated.
Alright, Red Hood. I shoot people. I have to be careful not to shoot them, because once I shoot them, they're dead. Ah, no. Wait, how's the shooting thing gonna work, though?
Simulation activated.
I need to get as much combos as possible. Shooting people is not gonna help that. Red Hood can't break weapons, can he? Nope. Whoopsies. Already running into problems. Whoa! You really like the Red Hood design? It's a nice design, yeah. What other weapons does he do? He's got the Bat Claw takedown. What else does he do? If he shoots ya, it's gonna hurt. Ow. I have to experiment a little bit more.
Simulation activated.
Are you guys getting notified of streams at all? Like, what's going on? People stop using the newsletter I'm paying for, or...
Your mommy won't recognize you when I'm done.
Ouch. Hmm. Link, do you need to get downstairs? Oh, jeez. Oh, Link. You've been getting notifications, Joseph? That's good. Yeah, I don't know what's going on the past 2 days. Less and less people are showing up. I don't blame them. There's not really a lot of new games. I'm literally milking 2 games at the moment. Trying to. Ninja Gaiden's this week. But Ninja Gaiden's kind of a niche thing, so I don't know how well that's gonna do. Ah!
Simulation activated.
Whoa. What gadgets do I have? Nope. I don't have any gadgets, do I? Nope. What was that loud thing? Link knocked over something. I fixed it. I picked it up. No big. Put it on the main page. I don't know. Everything's advertised. Yeah, the thud is fine. Link knocked over something. I didn't fall. I'm good.
This thing's going through your face.
Oh, Zelda. Not good. The Red Hood design is better than the Arkham Knight? Oh, definitely, yeah. So what does Jason do? Like, what's his moves? Does all he do is, like, just blast people, or does he have other things, like shurikens and smoke bombs? Like, what? Does he do anything? Whoops. Do I miss Zack Snyder? Not really. Oops. Oh, it jammed up. I've been wondering. Well, that sucks. Oh, Steam Deck, Steam Deck, Steam Deck, Steam Deck, Steam Deck. For reals? For reals? Seriously? Okay. Lovely. Yep, I'm playing this on Steam. Oh no, you saw it here first. It jammed up. No, we're not continuing. We're on this. Uh-huh. Okay. Jason. I don't know how to mod. I'd love to mod Arkham. I would love to, but I don't know how. I'm not a PC modder person. Okay, so the Ninja Gaiden game comes out on July 31st. Okay. The Breath of the Wild stream hit 1,000 views. That's great, but it didn't hit 1,000 views during the stream, so I didn't get paid for it. Or I got paid a fraction of what I could have been paid. So it's not good. It's better than nothing, but still not good. Promise to trim that down. As far as I know, Fantastic Four was at 24 million and Superman was at 22 million, and Fantastic Four was at 24 or 25 million for Thursday. So they didn't really beat Superman, like for the Thursday whatever record. Their weekend numbers will be in tomorrow.
Simulation activated.
This is where you're gonna die.
Oh shoot, I messed up. So all I do is shoot people.
Simulation activated.
I'll turn your bones to
There's no games happening this month. Ninja Gaiden is next week. I mean this week. Ninja Gaiden is the 31st.
Simulation activated.
And then there's some games in August, but that Nintendo Direct would really help. Because nobody knows what's going on with Metroid or anything. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go after the guy who was chasing after me. Darn it.
Simulation activated.
this thing's got
Yeah, but James Gunn's Superman has been out for over 2 weeks and it's only made $500 million. That's not good.
it's gonna hurt.
It's not really, you know. Although both movies would have done better if a lot of people hadn't said that there was a bunch of nonsense in the movies when neither one of them had any nonsense. That's going to hurt their box office prospects anyway. Because you have people on the fence that don't want to see, you know, political drivel in their movies.
What do you want me to hit?
And the Fantastic Four doesn't have anything bad in it. Superman had nothing bad in it. Fantastic Four is not a feminist-driven movie. It's a family dynamic movie, but all the PR and stuff made people think that it was like, you know, going to be basically like the first Captain Marvel movie, which was garbage. But it's not. So, it's funny to me. But I'm all for movies like that anyway. I'm gonna go see Fantastic Four. I don't like supporting like progressive nonsense in movies. So the less of that, the better.
Mommy won't
So
recognize you.
if Fantastic Four is really, you know, a decent movie, I'm gonna go see it. I like to support good things. I don't like propaganda films. Well, I mean, those people weren't wrong, though. For years, a good 10 years, there was a lot of propaganda in movies. There's a lot of crazy stuff. There's not so much anymore, so they kind of need to stop, like, spewing that nonsense, because it's over. They won. All that, like, political bias stuff is going away. Their side lost majorly. Stephen Colbert is having his entire show shut down. All he did was just, he was a mouthpiece for the left for, you know, so many years. CBS is canceling him so bad that they're not even going to let a replacement be for him. That's how you know that's really bad. You've had so many people in the game industry lose their jobs that were wackos. They're gone. Hollywood is pivoting because of Fantastic Four and Superman. I've heard that the Naked Gun movie makes fun of everybody. So their side lost. It's over. So there's no reason to have YouTube channels, you know, being mean-spirited for political stuff that doesn't exist anymore. You're going back to what life was like in the year 2015. If people can remember what it was. Where both sides were basically politically even. And there wasn't so much of a bias. But the people on YouTube, they need to get rid of the whole like woke versus anti-woke thing, because that's not going to be a thing in another 6 months. And the fact that, you know, they're going to start to lose credibility, these YouTube channels, because they spewed all this nonsense that, you know, was happening on the PR tours. They did say stuff about Fantastic Four, the actors did, but there's nothing in the movie about that. You know? So they'll have to, when they make their news videos, which they're going to lose a lot of their fan base doing this, because people are there to get rage bait, but they'll have to be like, during the, you know, PR tour for this movie, this actor said this. But for the most part, you're not going to see Hollywood bleed a lot of, like, liberalism into movies anymore, because that doesn't make money. They're going to go very middle of the road. They're either going to go, like, Hollywood is going to start fence-sitting, or they're going to be very, like, centrist. Like, it's just not going to be a thing that they're going to be pushing as much anymore. Because all the heavy movies that had that stuff, like The Eternals, flopped. Madam Web flopped. Harley Quinn flopped. Wonder Woman 84 flopped. All those movies that had agendas in them, they all flopped. They're gone. The actors were let go, replaced, you know. Everybody's moving on. It's over.
Simulation activated.
So, in the video games, you saw the same thing. You actually now have... There are so many games coming out that show women in cleavage again. Gamers beat the activists. It's over. We won. So now people have to get ready to adapt to how life was before, you know, where people were taking political sides and my side's better than yours, you're a bigot, you're an is, you're a phobe, all that stuff. Doesn't matter anymore. The left has no political power. They have no dominance in Hollywood anymore. They have no control over animation. They have no control over anime. They have no control over gaming again. It's over. So to basically, you know, pour salt in the wound and do all this other stuff and say this is happening and that's happening when it's not true, it just kind of makes you look like an idiot. But most of these people still stick around with their podcasts, probably. I don't know. But they're going to have to learn to adapt real quick, because I guarantee you by next year, none of these things are going to matter anymore. Probably even by the end of the year. I don't see it. And there'll always be specialty movies and stuff, but you can forget superhero movies outside of, like, some of the really extreme ones, like, what was that? But that show was in development a long time. The Girl Iron Man was a very heavy, nonsense-based show. But that show, you have to remember, has been in development for like 3 years. You know, the story was written during the pandemic, and it's just whatever. There's going to be some of those shows that get through the cracks. But for the most part, things are starting to change. And I told you they would change too. I said years ago, I said, everything that's happening now isn't going to matter by the time 2026 rolls around. Because the world is getting fatigued of it. They don't like it. People just want to go to the movies, have a good time, watch a fun superhero movie, you know, shut off their brain for 2 hours, and then go back out into the ugly world again. And for years, they weren't allowed to do that, because everywhere they went, everything they watched was all propaganda, 24 hours a day. Eventually, people reach a boiling point. They don't like that. Ow. That's right, I can shoot everybody. Bang, bang, bang. You're dead too. Oh, that's fun. Nope. Oh wow, that's brutal. Oh, it's fun. I don't have that many moves though. That's not as fun. Oh, you can't shoot the guy with the shield. Okay, well that kind of makes sense, I guess. Da-da-da-da. Can you like resurrect people that don't have the sparkly things. I don't even know who I hit. I feel like I used to be better with Red Hood.
I'm gonna carve my name in you. You ready for a shot?
Whoops. Yay!
Yeah, me.
I, for one, am excited. I can't wait for YouTube to kind of go back to normal again a little bit. Because there's always going to be drama on YouTube, but there's just been so much craziness over the past, like, 6 or 7 years. I'm looking forward to things kind of going back and people making more, like, what do they call that? Not mini documentaries. What was the name of that thing? There was a specific term for it. Video theories? Video... I can't remember. It's not a theory video. It has a specific name. It's basically a documentary where people construct their stuff. It's a very long video. It's about 30 minutes long, but it's not a theory video, and it's not an iceberg video. It's kind of like a retrospective, but not. Ow. Ah, my God.
You like a pig.
Whoop.
Up you go. Come on, hit me.
Blah, 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 blah.
Come on, man.
I'm doing terrible as Red Hood. Bang, bang, bang. He doesn't throw ice? He doesn't do anything? Just shoot people? No smoke bombs?
Now, are you? There's weapons here. Load up.
I have a gun and a grenade. Okay, well how do I throw my grenade?
Just try it.
No, that's not it. How do you throw the grenade?
You ready for a shock?
Oh, he doesn't have a quick fire for the grenade? That's a missed opportunity. Really? What about... Nope. What about this button? What about this button? Nope. Really? So I have a grenade and that's it. I have 3 weapons? That can't be right. For reals? Huh. Hello, Matthew.
Counter this one, freak.
I guess that's right. Yeah, da, 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 da. Bang, 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 bang. Stop it, Sparky, or I'm gonna shoot you. Oh, I missed. Red Hood just straight up shoots everybody. Ha! Oh, that's funny. Bo 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 bo. Swing and a miss.
I'll cut your face.
Medic! Dang. Meow. Yeah, but like I was telling you guys last night, it's a good idea for you to go and support movies that are good. And, like, that way those stupid Hollywood executives will never, ever try to give us all the trash that we had the past 7 years. And there was some good movies. It's not like there were no good movies and games, you know, the past 6 or 7 years. But there was a lot of crap to wade through, you know? So, I strongly recommend that people support Superman and Fantastic Four and even the Naked Gun movie. Because you want Hollywood to make more of those movies. And the thing that Hollywood listens to is not agendas, is not social groups, it's money. So if you want your favorite product to do well, it needs to sell well.
Simulation complete.
Of course every little bit helps. Of course it does. how everything YouTube does is crazy. How do I describe normal? Okay. If you go back and you watch the Fantastic Four or the Spider-Man movie from the early 2000s, can you tell if there's any type of political messaging in the movie? Like, what is the movie about? Is the movie about Spider-Man, or is it about some type of weird social issue? Whereas if you watch Wonder Woman 84, it's packed full of really volatile feminism stuff. But the first Wonder Woman movie is actually really good because it's just about a hero's journey. It's about Wonder Woman. It's about Wonder Woman coming to man's world and helping them end World War I and seeing the atrocities of war and all this other stuff and fighting Ares. That's what the first movie's about. The second movie is just utter Twitter nonsense. And it's terrible. Same thing with Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn was supposed to be a really good movie. It went through several reshoots, and it's just progressive drivel. Like the entire movie. They changed all the major characters. It was just bad from start to finish. Arrow started really good on the CW for 3 seasons. And then he started to become Arrow the Activist. Same thing with Supergirl. Supergirl was a great show when it was on CBS. But when it came over to the CW, oh my gosh. And don't even get me started on Batwoman. Batwoman was a train wreck right off the gate. They didn't even try to hide it. This suit will fit better when it fits a woman. I'm going to show Gotham what a real hero's like while I steal all Batman's gadgets, car, bat suit, and all this other stuff. I'm going to prove that I'm better by taking all the man's stuff. You couldn't write something worse than that. And yet they did. The show was called Gotham Knights. You know? It is so easy for me to point out, not even nitpick, but just to explain all these CW shows and how much they changed so quickly. Because when they started, they were all really great shows. I loved The Flash the first 3 seasons, I think. Maybe season 3 is when I dipped. I don't remember, but I liked season 1 and season 2. And I was a big fan of Arrow until Arrow hit like season 4 or something like that. And I really liked Legends of Tomorrow, but then Legends of Tomorrow got really weird. I'm trying to remember what else. Stargirl wasn't too bad, but it was a very depressing show because of Jeff Johns. Titan was always weird. I wouldn't really count that as a CW show, though. Titans was a very bizarre show. But, oh, what was the name of that show? You guys probably never saw it. Birds of Prey in the 2000s was a show about the daughter of Batman and Catwoman. So Michael Keaton and Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer, I believe is what they said. Something like that. And it took place in the year 2015 or something. It didn't take place in the early 2000s. It was a show in the 2000s, but it took place when the girl obviously was a teenager or something. Because if Batman and Catwoman had a daughter in like 1993, then in 2003 she'd be 10 years old. So the show took place, you know, in a bit of a time skip, but it revolved around Barbara Gordon, and she had been paralyzed and stuff like that. But it was essentially like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You know, it had like subtle feminism in it. It wasn't like in your face like the Harley Quinn movie. And I wouldn't even count that as feminism. That's just like man-hating. There's so many like different versions of feminism that I don't like the current day stuff. Like the 90s, early 2000s stuff is fine. Like that was done subtly, and it wasn't like I hate all men and stuff like that, you know? It was like tastefully done, I guess you could say. I think if Hollywood would have had that same approach and did things like tastefully and subtly, they wouldn't be like a complete rejection of everything that they were trying to push the past like 10 years. Because there was a complete rejection of it.
Be a shot.
So, you know, I'm right about that. If I wasn't right, then Superman and Fantastic Four would have all kinds of weird stuff in it, and they're both movies about very important things for their respective universes. Very important. And those characters, like, are very concerned about those, you know, special things. Because it directly revolves around them. Like, their whole lives are in jeopardy, so the comic book people don't have time to be paying attention to, you know, fights on Twitter and all this other stuff, you know? They gotta worry about their worlds being destroyed. And or, in the Superman's case, like, intergalactic threats showing up and the Justice Gang having to deal with that kind of stuff, you know? They have their own problems that the characters have to navigate through. And that's all people asked for people for years. They were like, with superhero movies, we just want to see something that involves the characters that we're there to go watch. We don't want to be preached to. We don't care about any of that stuff. We just want to have a good time at the movies. And the Eternals didn't do that. The Eternals was super preachy. But the Eternals flopped. And then when it flopped, what did people say? They said, oh, people didn't go see this movie because they're this, that, and the other. No, people didn't see the movie because they knew it was going to suck. But they would shame you for not seeing the movie. Like, they'd be like, you didn't want to see this movie because it starred somebody from India, or it has this, or it has that. You know, they were like... their PR was so weird. Same thing. If you didn't support the Marvels movie, you hated women. And this is the type of stuff that Hollywood was saying for years. And eventually, you can't say that to your audience because your audience is going to say, screw you. They're going to flip you the bird, and they're going to go do something else. They don't owe you anything to keep supporting your movies. You're living in La La Land if you believe that. You can't go up to say to somebody, like, yeah, basically flip them the bird, and then expect them to show up and still support your product. Once you've made your line in the sand and you've told them to get bent or whatever, that's it. They're not going to come back and support your work. Why would they? That doesn't make sense, right? But these people had such entitlement in Hollywood and the game industry that they thought that they could treat their fans however they wanted to, and there'd be no blowback because they're the MCU or they're Microsoft or they're Sony or whatever. Or they're Ubisoft. But these people learned the hard way, didn't they? Although they still, some of them have no idea. They're homeless, they're, you know, living on the street somewhere in Hollywood. They still don't understand what happened, how they lost power. It doesn't register to them. They can't figure it out. They still blame the audience. Well, it's superhero fatigue. It's this, it's that. They can't even fathom it.
Simulation complete.
Well, yeah. See, Joseph? That's because, like, a lot of people today now are basing their stories based on comic books that people actually know. Like the drunk Supergirl thing that's going to be happening. And the fact that she's going to be very different than Superman. Alright, we have to release the cat short, don't we? Yep. Okay, cat short time. Nah. It's actually kind of hard to play as Jason a little bit. I'm trying, but Jay doesn't really... He doesn't have a lot of arsenal to mess around with. Also, it's really hard to combo him because he just has a zip thingy. You can't use his grenade in combat, I don't think. I was trying to. Ugh. Yep. I see people on social media all the time. They're like, I don't understand what happened. Like, why was there so much hatred toward the MCU and all this other stuff before? It's like they don't understand that the content is the reason why people got upset. Like, there was no such thing as superhero fatigue. What happened is people got tired of seeing the same stuff and having the same messaging thrown down their throat. Like, the last phase of Marvel outside of Wolverine and a few other movies absolutely sucked. All those movies and shows were propaganda pieces. They were mouthpieces. It was like 2 years of that. And even before that, like some of the MCU shows, like 2 to 3 years prior to that, they had some of that stuff. It wasn't all the time, like the last phase that happened. And eventually, these people, you have to realize that when they start to lose a lot of money, their shareholders get very antsy. The people that basically own them and pay their salaries, they don't like that because they want to make money. It should be very easy for them to take like a superhero or a sci-fi character and make a lot of money and milk those type of fandoms. But they weren't able to milk as much money anymore because the people that they were catering to weren't actually buying the products. They weren't getting the merchandise. They weren't buying the Blu-rays. They weren't going to the movies 6 or 7 times. You know, all they were doing was talking about how, you know, great this movie is because it pushes this or that. But that doesn't relate to profit. Winning brownie points doesn't do anything except, you know, just please people that are already part of non-profit organizations that don't even make any money. Such a wacky time in our society. I still can't believe it got as crazy as it did. I'm still like flabbergasted. I'm like, how in the world did this happen? And I really think a lot of it is because everybody was locked down for a long time. Because when you're home and you're not able to work and you're not able to do things, people's minds tend to wander and they get kind of crazy. Start to come up with crazy ideas and, you know, all kinds of stuff happened. If the pandemic never happened, I guarantee you the world would not have been as crazy as it was. There would still be some craziness, but it wouldn't be to the extent that it was. Just advertising the cat short. Cats of Twitter. Cats. Cats. Cats are family? Okay. Animals. Pets. YouTube. I don't know. Instagram. I don't know. TikTok. Oh, there's one. There it is. Yeah. Cute cats? Cute cats is not a hashtag? Boo. Cats of the day. There you go. Maybe people will be searching cats of the day. Meow. Crazy. Orange cat. I guess that works. I don't know. Meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. So how is okay, so we got 17 views on the cat short. All right, we're gonna have to click, 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 click. Dentist appointment? Ouch. Yeah, I have an orange cat. Link the cat. Link the crazy cat. Oh yeah, corporate greed is at an all-time high right now, true. But, I mean, if it... Society couldn't survive with wokeism. You were heading toward a societal collapse. It would have been very, very bad. The corporate greed stuff is bad. We had corporate greed in the 90s and the 2000s. We got by. But, like, the degradation of society was going so far down that the next thing that they were pushing was people with children. Like, that's how far we came in like 6 years. And now a lot of people are seeing that most of these weirdos are actually getting arrested for committing crimes against kids. You know? So it's like the party's over. They were trying to put the their group inside of that flag. So, you know, things got way too crazy, way too fast.
Mind if I take the souvenir?
And it could have been a lot worse. Because they were doing stuff, what was it? I heard that they were actually making shows for preschoolers about certain things. As well as they were teaching kids lots of really weird stuff in schools that they've now, like, stopped doing that in schools. But this was all over the place. And it went completely under the radar for years. Until people really started to, you know, say stuff. But for a while, people couldn't say anything because if you said anything against that group, you'd get doxxed, you would get swatted, you would lose your job, you would get harassed online. Happened to me. I got attacked by those weirdos several times. Because they don't want you to know the truth about stuff. It's not, you know. They'll say, oh no, it's not about this. It's like, then why are you teaching this stuff in schools? And they're like, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, seriously, why are you messing with kids? What's the reason? Because they have to recruit. They cannot create, they must recruit. And the only way to do that is children are so impressionable that you have to get to them at an early age. And they were doing it in preschool, and they were doing it in grade school, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Now these people are finally going to jail, because we have, you know, people that are ready to be like, you can't do that stuff. You can't go inside of girls' changing rooms and take pictures and vlogs and stuff. You can't do that stuff. Shouldn't have been able to do that stuff before. But they were. So, while the corporate greed stuff is bad, if it leads back to some moral decency in the country for a while, I'm all for it, because we were falling apart. It's getting really bad. But that stuff's probably dead in its tracks now for the next like 10 or maybe 15 years. There's all kinds of new laws and regulations that have put in place. But where it's going to change the most is with movies and stuff for now, which it's just going to go back to how it was in 2015. Hopefully we'll see like more of a resurgence of family-friendly films again and things like that. Possible. But the question is, will Disney be able to capture the family's attention again? Because most families boycott Disney these days. But I think another company can easily, you know, rise to the occasion and be like, hey, we've got some really cool, like, family-friendly movies and TV shows and things like that. Like, that market is very easy to tap into. You just have to make the content that those families want to see. People can easily earn trust back. It takes time to get trust back. And Disney has like a smeared reputation right now. But if they, you know, get good people that work for them again, and they stop pushing stuff, and they go for where the market is headed, which is the correct way, then maybe, you know, Disney can bounce back and become great again. But Disney's not doing well. And all the lawsuits they've had too the past couple years is not good. But Universal Studios is doing really well. Universal Studios picked up a huge chunk of the families that used to go to Disney World and Disneyland. So. And Universal partnered with Nintendo.
Your mommy won't recognize you.
Which is actually kind of cool if you think about it. I would have been so excited as a kid to go to an actual Nintendo theme park. Never even imagined it be possible. So you guys have, like, you know, whatever generation you guys are. You're able to go to a Nintendo theme park. You're going to have Nintendo movies at a young age. I had Nintendo cartoons when I was a kid, and nothing. And some really, really bad live-action video game movies. Like, really bad. Some of them were legendarily funny, like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but some of the video game movies were just so bad. They weren't even funny, like Double Dragon. Oh yes, Double Dragon was a movie. Don't ask. It was real, though. Correct. Joseph is correct. Teaching kids about equality is good, but forcing agendas down their throat is bad. Correct. Also, teaching them about the birds and the bees when they're in preschool is bad. That shouldn't happen until they're teenagers. Or like getting ready to graduate grade school. I think I learned about that in 5th grade or 6th grade. Like the amount of stuff that they were pushing to like actual children, like people under the age of 13 was disgusting.
Simulation complete.
Never happened before. But like I said, you couldn't say anything because if you did, like you would get lambasted on social media and it'd call you all kinds of things when actually you confronting them about that kind of stuff, like, hold on, wait a sec, you can't do that. Well, you were in the right. But they made you feel like you were the villain.
Simulation activated.
There was a King of Fighters live action movie. I never saw it. I saw Street Fighter. I saw both Mortal Kombat movies. I saw Double Dragon. What else did we have? We didn't get a Golden Axe movie. We didn't get a Sonic movie. We had a Sonic TV show. That's a very good question. What video game movies did we have in the 90s? You guys watching the Cat Short? Yes or no? Yep, you guys are getting on it. Awesome, thank you. There we go. Good job, everybody. Let's find out, shall we? What video game movies released in the 1990s? 1990. To 1999. Boom. Okay, here we go. Several video game movies were released in the 1990s, including Super Mario 1993, Double Dragon 94, Street Fighter 94, Mortal Kombat 95, Wing Commander 1999. Wait, Wing Commander? Oh yeah, that was a PC game. That's it? There has to be more. There has to be more. Hold on. Here we go. This is the actual Wikipedia of video game movies. Now we're talking. Okay. 1993, Super Mario. Double Dragon, 94. Street Fighter, 94. Starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. Mortal Kombat. I don't know anybody famous in that. The guy from Beverly Hills Ninja was in it. I don't know. Mortal Kombat Annihilation, 1997. Wing Commander, 99. Lara Croft, 2001. Resident Evil, 2002. Lara Croft 2, 2003. House of the Dead. Really? Huh. 2003, House of the Dead. Didn't know that. Resident Evil Apocalypse. 04. Alone in the Dark. Really? I don't remember that one. Alone in the Dark, 2005. Doom, 2005. I remember Blood Rain, 2006. Silent Hill, 2006. Dead or Alive? Nuh-uh. There was a Dead or Alive movie? 2006? I never heard of it. Resident Evil Extinction, 2007. Uh-huh. I have to see the Dead or Alive movie. There was a Hitman movie? No, there wasn't. There's a game called Postal? I don't know what that is. Hitman, 2007. In the Name of the King, a dungeon siege tale is based on a video game? Microsoft Studios, 2008. Far Cry was a movie? No, it was not. It was not. You lied. Oh my gosh, it was a movie. What? I never knew that. Weird. Max Payne was a movie? Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li, Girl from Smallville, I saw that. That was 2009. Tekken, I didn't know had a movie in 2010. Is that in Japan or is that America? Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, I saw that. That was in 2010. That was really good. Wanted a sequel, he never got it. Resident Evil Afterlife, so many Resident Evils. Resident Evil Retribution, 2010, 2012. Silent Hill Revelation, 2012. Need for Speed? Need for Speed had a movie in 2014. I never saw it. Hitman 47, 2015. Warcraft I saw. I saw Warcraft in theaters. That was pretty good. And I saw Assassin's Creed. I liked those. I don't care what anybody said. The Warcraft movie and the Assassin's Creed movie were fun. Okay? Those were fun box office movies in 2016. I liked those. Tomb Raider reboot, I did not see that. 2018. Rampage, did not see that in 2018. I don't know what Dead Trigger is. What is Dead Trigger? Pokemon Detective Pikachu, 2019, I saw that. Sonic the Hedgehog, obviously saw that. Did not see Monster Hunter. Did not see that. I did see the Mortal Kombat 2021. Werewolves Within, I did not see that. That was 2021. Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City, did not see that. Don't care for the Resident Evil franchise. Like the movie franchise. It's not like the games. Man, there's a lot of video game movies, isn't there? Then, of course, the Uncharted movie, I saw that. I took Amber to see it. It wasn't very good. We wanted it to be good, but Tom Holland was too young to play Nathan Drake. It didn't work. The guy who played Sully should have played Nathan Drake. Borderlands did not see. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 saw. Minecraft movie didn't see. Until Dawn did not see. And there's still more video game movies. Holy cow. Mortal Kombat 2 comes out in October. I want to see that. Return to Silent Hill, don't care about. Legend of Zelda 2027. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 2027. More Resident Evil 2026. More Silent Hill 2026. Movies that were supposed to happen. Watch Dogs. Comic Zone. Yeah, right. From Sega. Duke Nukem. Surprised we never got that. Eternal Champions never happened. Ghost of Tsushima is happening. To be announced, Sony Pictures. That's about it. That's a lot. It's a lot of video game movies, man. That's cool. But yeah, you guys are growing up in a generation now where video game movies are going to be like more of a common thing than when I was a kid. Which I'm actually kind of jealous of, because, you know, as long as the video game movies are good, I mean, that's great. Uh-oh. Did I get stabbed? No, I didn't get stabbed. Stop that. Bum, 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 bum. Aw, poor little medic. Video game movies are the next thing? Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's the next big fad, but, I mean, if you think about it, video game movies have been around for a very long time. Like, video game movies have been around for, 30 years. There's just more of them that's going to be popping up now. The Pac-Man movie with not Ryan Reynolds, with Adam Sandler. Boink. Darn it. I got hit. That means I have to do it again. Boink. Yeah, but Joseph can tell you, Joseph West, like, we didn't grow up with, I can't think of any era where we had film propaganda or we had, like, everything was just fun, and, like, Power Rangers taught how to be friends with people and fight monsters and stuff like that. Saved by the Bell, like, was a good show for teenagers and kids. Taught kids not to do drugs and peer pressure and how to deal with breaking up, all kinds of stuff. It was, you know, very wholesome stuff. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air focused on a kid from the East Coast coming to California and having to adjust to the complete culture clash between West and the East Coast, as well as, you know, his family that he was staying with had a lot of money and stuff like that, and he came from, wouldn't say humble beginnings, but came from the streets of Philly, so it was a big change for him because, you know, his family there could do whatever they wanted pretty much. But also he had to deal with prejudiceness from wage gap stuff, or like, you know, these people are rich, but these people are richer and stuff like that. People look down on for things. Poor versus rich type stuff. But the only real thing I can remember, you remember this, Joseph, when Buffy the Vampire Slayer got really popular, we started to get more kick-butt females on TV that could do martial arts. Even Daphne and Scooby-Doo became a martial artist. Because of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like, there was no more damsels in distress because the damsels could all use martial arts. That was a thing. Like, that happened in just about every movie and TV show, like, as early as, I want to say, like, 1998. Like, it became a thing. And it even made it into cartoon shows and stuff like that. That was, like, that was positive female empowerment, though. But the reason why Daphne changed anyway is because Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy herself, played Daphne in the Scooby-Doo live-action movie with her future husband, Freddie Prinze Jr. So she got to change Daphne from, you know, being this kind of damsel in distress to the damsel kicking butt and taking names. Because people forget, but Sarah Michelle Gellar was actually a very accomplished martial artist. She had look, she had brains, and she had skill. She was a whole 90s package. Darn it. Boink. Kind of like Charlie's Angels, but like, even when the Charlie's Angels show came out, if you go back and watch a lot of shows from the 70s and 80s, women were still kind of like damsels in distress, kind of. Buffy changed the whole dynamic. Like, Buffy's, like, late-night show just, like, made it so that girls, like, didn't have to be... there could be female characters for kids to look up to that could actually fight. And, you know, she killed vampires. It wasn't a dude who was going around killing vampires. It was Buffy. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was really a big deal. It was good because the problem is because we in a culture, we go by like fads. So when Buffy started to do really well, there started to be more shows and more movies where this became a trope. You know how in anime there's certain tropes for characters, like the guy who wears his glasses and he puts it up on his nose and he looks really smart and his glasses like shine, or the girl who wears a lot of like makeup and it's kind of like bronze makeup and she dyes her hair blonde and she wears like fishnets and she stands out in class. She's known as a gal or something like that. There's tropes. So the American trope for the leading into the 2000s was females that all knew martial arts. And they would make it into movies and they would joke about it. But that was because of Buffy. And, you know, it was a coincidence, too, because right around the time of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, we had Angelina Jolie as Tomb Raider. So you had more of that, like, popping up. That was a pretty cool fad, though, because we got a lot of great choreography of, like, different female stars doing some great martial arts stuff. Like Trinity in The Matrix and stuff like that. That's the women empowerment you can get behind. Yeah. Was I a fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer? How many years did I watch Buffy? Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Release date. Okay, Buffy came out in 1997 and it ran until when? Ran until 2003. It started on the WB network. It ended in 2001, May 22nd, 2001. So when it switched networks, I stopped watching it. So I watched it mostly from 1997 until 1990, probably 99, 2000. When the WB switched, it's like some shows went to UPN. UPN was another network that didn't have the budget of the WB. But when Buffy was so successful that it split off into another show called Angel. And it had some characters from Buffy, like I don't know if it was a Megan Fox character. I don't know who she was. There was this girl that had black hair, and she was a rival cheerleader from Buffy. And then she ended up going to Los Angeles with Angel or something. I don't know. And then she became the love interest or something. I watched Angel for a while. And then I kind of got out of the martial arts shows. Except I did watch... I think what replaced Buffy for me was Mortal Kombat, the TV show. Yeah. Okay, so... the show that I stopped watching Buffy for a while, which I liked a lot, was called Mortal Kombat Conquest. It was a video game TV show based on Mortal Kombat. Basically, it was like the Mortal Kombat Mythologies game, but better. And it was about Scorpion and Sub-Zero and Kung Lao. Although Kung Lao didn't look like Kung Lao. My biggest gripe with the show is... The dude who played Kung Lao, okay? He was walking around in a white sweater, like a white sweatshirt, and he had like almost camo pants. He was supposed to look like a dude back during the time of Kung Lao. But because of the budget, oh my gosh, the characters, a lot of them dressed almost kind of modern, and it's supposed to be like ancient feudal Japan. So... but even though the show was really goofy, it was fun to watch. The martial arts was really good in the show. Yeah, I heard that Sarah Michelle Gellar and whatever Jennifer Love Hewitt aren't BFFs anymore, but I think that had to do with I think Sarah was jealous of something between Freddie Prinze Jr. and because Freddie Prinze Jr. is her husband. So I think that something happened between Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. at one point, and you know, that's why they don't like each other. And Sarah just never forgave her or something, you know? Kind of like how Jennifer Garner and J-Lo hated each other for years because, you know, Jennifer Garner was the other woman who stole Ben Affleck. But then when Jennifer Lopez got Ben back, she didn't even stay married to him very long. They were married like less than 3 years.
Simulation
What, Mortal Kombat
activated.
Conquest? It didn't suck. It was fun. It was better than Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
When you slit a throat.
It was much better than Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It was fun. Lasted for like, I don't know, 26, 27 episodes. It was just, you know, it was just stupid fun. We had a lot of shows in the 90s and the early 2000s that didn't go anywhere. Birds of Prey was an awful show,
Simulation
but it was still better than most stuff that ended up on the CW. Like when the CW went crazy in its last like couple seasons, when it went full-blown like activism, any episode of Birds of Prey would be infinitely better than anything that was on the CW at that time. Like, it was just no contest. Pew, pew, pew. I shot you in the face and I'm to blame. That medic's playing a deadly game. Bow! Ha ha ha. I think that the Mortal Kombat show is available on HBO Max. I don't know if it ever released on Blu-ray. The problem with the show is it got into territory of Mortal Kombat mythologies, but it never wrapped up. So it started the arc of Mortal Kombat mythologies, like with the Bi-Han and Scorpion thing. And the Scorpion and Bi-Han fights were really good. Like, the Sub-Zero and Scorpion fights were, like, Mortal Kombat 1 level. When I mean MK1, I mean the choreography in the first Mortal Kombat movie, which was really good choreography. So the fights in Mortal Kombat Conquest was actually really good. The fights in Annihilation sucked, okay? Like, they had these weird Party City costumes, and the choreography was lame. And they were trying so much to rely on like CGI and those type of effects that they didn't really have very good martial arts stuff. The guy that got to play Raiden, I believe, could fight in it. The previous Raiden who they had couldn't fight, so they had to cast someone who could fight. I think that's how it went. And Robin was the guy who played Liu Kang, very accomplished martial artist. But I don't think he realized how crazy the second Mortal Kombat movie was going to become. They originally were going to do a trilogy, and then I guess they said, nah, forget it. We're just going to combine Mortal Kombat 2 and 3 into one movie. And so they called it Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and it was like, no. If maybe they would have paced themselves with it, who knows what would have happened. But they tried to rush, like, 2 major game storylines into one movie, and it just didn't work. Add on the goofy costumes and the bad choreography. It was a disaster waiting to happen. Like, the choreography for the movie was like, if the guy who did the fights in the Double Dragon, like, 94 movie suddenly got a job in 1995 to do or 96 to film Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It was just so bad. And I was taking martial arts back then, so I know what I'm talking about. Like, I was inspired to take martial arts in the mid 90s because of Power Rangers, the first Mortal Kombat movie, Batman Forever, Jackie Chan's Super Cop, things like that. So I was actually a practicing martial artist when Annihilation came out. And it was, I don't know. When I saw it in theaters, I was depressed. I was like, no way. What happened? I've been looking forward to this movie for years. Because back in the day, you know how you guys use the, you use Twitter and you use, like, YouTubers and stuff to find out about upcoming movies? You know what we had? What Joseph and I had? We had something called Entertainment Tonight. So, Entertainment Tonight, or Entertainment Weekly, was your only way to find out what was, like, what movie was coming out or what TV show. Maybe TV Guide magazine too that you would get at the grocery store. Like it was called TV Guide, and it was a magazine that would have like stuff on it and tell you all the it would have the listing of TV shows and things like that too. So that's how a lot of us found out about upcoming movies and shows like that. And if you were around for Entertainment Tonight that went on TV and stuff like that, you know, sometimes you would get a cool scoop about something. Like you would, like, I remember being very excited in 1996 when they showed the making of Batman and Robin one night. They did a whole thing dedicated to it. And the making of looked better than the final movie. But I was excited to see it. I was like, yo, this looks great. Why are they roller skating on ice? What's this about? But, you know, as a kid, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty cool, you know? We're getting a exclusive look on this special Batman takeover, looking at the brand new Batman. George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell was guest hosting or something. You know, it was a big deal. It was like Batman, new Batman. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm playing Mr. Freeze in the new movie, yes. You know, so that stuff was fun, but we didn't have constant leaks back then, so if a movie was bad, you wouldn't know it until, like, you sat in the theater. So, they did the same thing. They were doing an extensive TV look at, whatchamacallit, the Mortal Kombat thing. Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and Mortal Kombat Annihilation was so bad. But nobody knew until you went into the theater. So you guys actually, you know, you kind of have... You're a little bit more lucky than we are, because the internet wasn't used the way that it is today. Like, very few people leaked stuff on the internet back then. And it was all text. Like, there were no pictures, there was barely any if there was full motion video, it looked really bad. Like, there was a video that broke the internet called Batman Predator. Or Batman's End. It was filmed in 2004, 2003. And it went on the web, and people were watching it, but the problem is the picture quality was so pixelated because it wasn't high definition. It was standard definition or whatever. But the movie was really cool. It was like a 6 or 7 minute movie where he fights both Predator and aliens, like Batman does. And they used the music from Mask of the Phantasm, and it broke the internet. But YouTube didn't exist yet. So there was no, like, video streaming thing for it yet. And then a couple years later, we had the famous Robin trailer, which was really good. But it's because of projects like that YouTube even got invented. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those fan trailer things, but they were really cool. They got real actors, they filmed it, they put it on the web. Joseph's like, I saw Batman and Robin in theaters. Never watched it again. I can't say that I haven't watched it again. I have seen it. When Amber and I were staying at a hotel in, for PAX many years ago, we were getting back from PAX East. It was on I think it was a Friday night or a Saturday. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's true. So we got back to the hotel, and Amber was exhausted. Amber went to sleep because she was lugging the camera equipment, and I had my laptop open, and I was channel surfing, and I came across, I think it was on TBS or TNT or something. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But Batman and Robin was on. And at first I was thinking, I'm not going to watch this. And then Mr. Freeze came on. He's like, cool party, everyone. I'm like, yeah, I'll keep this on in the background while I edit. So I was editing our PAX East coverage. And I watched, like, in the background, the entire movie. Because it was just, you know, it was on cable. And it was on the hotel TV. And I wasn't really paying attention to it because I was editing all the footage that we did on the show floor that day. So it was just there in the background. So I saw that movie again, probably like over 11 or 12 years ago. I haven't watched it since. I have seen clips of it though. Like, there's so many clips and memes of that. Can't stop me now, 'cause I'm shooting you in the face. 'Cause you are a disgrace. Blam, 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 blam. Ba 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 ba. I saw Joss Whedon's cut in theaters with Amber, and our first screening of it, we liked it. And then I got really mad because I found out all the stuff that they cut out of the movie. And I was not happy. Because I really liked a lot of some of the movie, but then when I went the second time to watch it with Amber, and I was basically sitting next to her, and I was like, this is Zack Snyder, this is Whedon, this is Snyder, this is Whedon. Because it was my only way to stay sane. So I was like, they changed so much, but my first initial like viewing of the movie, I was like, ah, this isn't so bad. It's not great. But I didn't hate it at first. I came not to like it when like I learned all the stuff that they cut out of the movie with Cyborg and with Batman and with Superman and stuff like that. So it was like right around that, I think it was like a few months after the movie came out that I became a part of the Snyder Cut. Like I was doing the hashtag for the movie right around the time that they started the hashtag movement. Yeah, you could go to Apple's website and watch movie trailers and stuff. Yeah, that was the thing. That's where most people went to watch trailers online, was Apple.
I got a shock for you.
Blink.
Get back.
Yaha. Blah, 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 blah. No, I got punched, which means I lost. Shoot. Yep. So I mean, yeah, I joined the. There's a difference between like being a part of the Zack Snyder fandom, and I was a part of the hashtag movement, until the Snyder Cut was released. When the Snyder Cut was released, I stopped. Because I saw it as a victory. I was like, I even tweeted it. I said, the Snyder Cut's being released. We did it. You know, let's all watch the movie or whatever. And that was it. I mentioned something about like Operation Rainfall, which was another fan campaign that I was a part of that was successful back in the day. That gave us like Pandora's Tower, Xenoblade Chronicles, and The Last Story. So I've been a part of 2 fan campaign groups that actually achieved their goal. Operation Rainfall achieved their goal and released the Snyder Cut. Even though the release the Snyder Cut people think that there's still more work to do, like, they actually were a successful fan campaign until they went crazy. And you have to admit, they did. They went a little bonkers. Went a little bit too far. No, I got stabbed. Shoot. Yeah, the Snyder Cut was really good. You know, we were robbed of getting that movie originally. It actually had a cohesive plot. It had a good story. It had a beginning, it had a middle, and it had an end. As well as it teased the prospect for a sequel. Everything that you want a movie to do. Plus, it was very entertaining. That's all you want in a movie. Ooh. That's an understatement about the Snyder fans. Yeah, I've had some Snyder fans jump down my throat a little bit. They're like, hey, I thought you were one of us. It's like, one of you? What? I did a hashtag. You guys have a fan meetup? Like, what? Do you have a clubhouse? Like, what's going on? You're not meeting inside of Henry Cavill's spaceship, are you? Please tell me you're not doing that. Yoink. Woo. You need first aid. There's your first aid. Alright, I did better that time. Alright. I threw a device in people's face. Cool. Well, Henry Cavill didn't have a Fortress of Solitude, did he? He had a spaceship in the Arctic. Isn't that what Zack Snyder was doing? It was like, you have a spaceship. Yeah, I think that I think the spaceship in the Arctic was his Fortress of Solitude. It was a Kryptonian battleship or something. I don't know. I don't remember if it was an actual... I don't think it was a Crystal Palace. I got shot. Thank you very much for the 5 gifted memberships. That helps out a lot. That brings us up to 200 members again. No, I don't think it was a joke. I really believe that Henry Cavill's spaceship is the Fortress of Solitude in Zack Snyder's thing. You'd have to look it up. I think it's the Fortress of Solitude is buried in snow. In No, they don't. They resurrect him in Metropolis. They resurrect Superman in Zod's ship. Yeah. Clark has his own thing in the Arctic, but I don't think it was a Fortress of Solitude. I think it's a Kryptonian battleship or something. Yeah, he had a space. I'm telling you guys, he had a spaceship. He's walking around talking to his space dad, and there's all these suits on display. It's both in Man of Steel and was it in BVS? No, it's in Man of Steel and it's in Justice League, because that's where he gets the black suit. The black suit is from the black suit is from his ship. He doesn't have the blue suit anymore because he died in it. I believe.
I don't like your odds.
But the ship that Lex is messing with in BVS, that is sorry, BVS and Justice League. Wait, Lex isn't in Justice League. The ship that Lex is messing with is Zod's ship. Ah, I got hit. Darn it. Oh yeah, no, it's not even a contest. The best Fortress of Solitude is David's. It's not even that's not even a contest. I don't even think Brandon Routh had the Fortress of... Actually, no, I think he did have the Fortress of Solitude. Yeah, guys, keep us in your prayers. I got a email from Ted saying that they're having a hard time getting a hold of Nagato because, like I said, YouTube, them, myself, we were able to get Nagato to pay the May earnings for people in July that they owed people. Well, some people got paid from May's earnings. But they're having a hard time contacting them, and like basically they went silent again. So they're still like Amber and I were working with this other company at the end of June. So we already got paid from, the time that we worked with that company at the end of June. But we had June earnings from June 1st until June 22nd or June 23rd with Nagato, and the way that this is writing, it's like Ted doesn't know if they'll even get paid. Like, they're trying to get them to pay them, but they haven't even sent in the June earnings yet, which they were supposed to 2 weeks ago. June earnings, basically how a YouTuber gets paid is you get, how like when you do your job, you have like a whatchamacallit, some of your money goes away to taxes, and then when the books are done, they like do other stuff. So with a YouTuber with the earnings and stuff like that, a company has to put together how much you made on paper, like all that other stuff, like crunch the numbers. Once the numbers are crunched, then they know how much to pay you. So the company hasn't even sent Ted's agency the numbers that they were supposed to around like July 10th or something like that. And it's now July 28th. So that's bad. But like I said, those of you that are on the fence about, you know, renewing your membership and stuff like that, we were paid by the Portuguese company for the time that we've worked with them, which we started working for them at the end of June, and we were paid for the end of June already. So that means we'll get paid all our July earnings in the middle of August from that company. But it doesn't sound like they're unsure if we're even going to get paid for our June earnings from this company, which I told them, like, my hands are tied. You know, I said, you need to report this to the police and do all this other stuff, because even though you've worked with these people in the past, you've got like 50, 60 people that work for you. You've got to, you have to report it. And I told YouTube the same thing. I said, YouTube, you need to make a report of this because these people likely stole money. And what happened when I told them that? I get kicked out of the YouTube partner management program. Because I was sticking my nose out to help people. And they wrote me a letter saying, hey, just letting you know that blah, 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 blah. We won't be working with you again, blah, 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 blah. And had I not brought up any of that stuff, I guarantee you I still would have been working with, like, the YouTube partner manager people. So I actually, took a hit, not just financially, but also I lost some really good contacts at YouTube over all this. So it's really annoying. Uh-oh. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Lex was in Justice League? Technically. He had a cameo in Justice League. It's not the same. Superman is killed. Lex arrested. Lex has his head shaved. Batman shows up in prison. Lex doesn't have a big role in Justice League. He's there, but I wouldn't say he has a huge, substantial role. I don't think so. Now I'm just trying to figure out if Henry had a ship that was surrounded by snow and ice, or if the Fortress of Solitude actually went beneath the snow, or if it was just buried in the snow. Like, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure there was a Palace of Ice in both the Christopher Reeve movie and in the Brandon Routh Superman, but I can't remember. I've only seen Superman Returns twice. Once in theaters and then once on DVD. I don't like it. The reason why I don't like it is that Superman had a kid out of wedlock, and then he left his girlfriend to raise the baby, and he just left Earth. They don't even tell you why he leaves Earth. They were supposed to, but he and Lois get busy, have a kid, and then Superman disappears. Now, what I like about the Superman Returns video game, it tells you what happens to Superman. He leaves Earth to deal with some intergalactic threat, and he gets captured on Warworld, and he's over there for years, like in the Coliseum. And it makes sense. In the video game, Superman Returns, he breaks out of Warworld, and he makes it back home to Metropolis. But his reasonings in the movie is stupid. It wasn't very good. The video game did a better job of highlighting why Superman couldn't come back to Earth for like 10 years or something. The game, did what the movie didn't. That's why I like the Superman Returns game better than the movie. And Brandon Routh did play the role of Superman in the game too, so it's still, you know, connected to his universe. And the game was really interesting. Uh-oh.
This is why I signed up.
Okay, that was random. I didn't even know who I hit. Whoa! Did I get hit? No, I didn't get hit. Good. Finally, we got 3 stars. And I got 3 stars. Gonna shoot you. Wait. How can you resurrect somebody that I shot with bullets? Are you using the Lazarus pit?
Here, this should help.
No, I got stabbed. You just got every achievement in Arkham City again? That's amazing. Good job. That's dedication.
Simulation complete.
No, well, that's good enough. Yeah, I'm really struggling with Red Hood tonight. Usually I do a worse job with Robin, but I'm really stinking up the course with Red Hood. It's because Red Hood doesn't have enough moves. I think that's the reason. You snapped one of their necks with Red Hood and it still shows that they're... Okay. That's interesting. I have to know now. What movies... Let's ask AI. Alright, Google AI. The Fortress of Solitude has appeared in multiple Superman movies, including... I can't read that. I have to do all AI. That's a better list. I knew it! Okay, alright, here we go. The Fortress of Solitude is depicted in various Superman movies. 1978, the film introduces the fortress as a massive crystal structure formed in the Arctic from a crystal that Jor-El placed in Kal-El's spaceship. Superman 2, 1980. The fortress features primarily as a location for Superman's personal struggles and later a showdown with General Zod. Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. The Fortress, 1987. The Fortress appears in this sequel serving as a similar role as the one for a training ground. Superman Returns, 2006. While retaining the icy setting and crystalline architecture of the previous Reeves films, this iteration of the fortress is shown to lack the impact of the earlier depictions. This is what I wanted to know. Man of Steel, 2013. Zack Snyder has a different approach to the famous Fortress of Solitude. In reality, it's a Kryptonian scout ship that crashed on Earth centuries ago before Kal-El arrived. Justice League, 2017 and Snyder Cut. The scout ship from Man of Steel's is utilized as a vital location in Superman's return. There you go. So now we know. It's a scout ship. So when I said that it was a Superman spaceship is a Fortress of Solitude, I was correct. That's how Zack Snyder interpreted it. He's like, no, we're not going to do the Crystal Palace. It's just going to be a spaceship that was there centuries before. Superman's going to find it randomly, and yeah. Yeah. I happen to like the more comic book thing. I like what they did with the Fortress of Solitude in Superman Legacy. Because I like the comic booky stuff. I don't... The Chris Nolan realism superhero stuff worked really well, like 2005 through like 2012. But after that, superhero movies needed to be more, you know, less grounded, in my opinion. And with the new Superman movie that we got now and stuff like that, it's more of like a fictionalized, like, hey, you're here in this superhero world, as opposed to you're here in the real world, this is what it would look like, this is what, you know, stuff would be going down and things like that. Shoot. So, I mean, I like the Chris Nolan style, I do. But at the same time, I like superhero, like, fiction stuff. So, seeing a Batcave that has, like, jets and, you know, sci-fi elements, and seeing Superman's Fortress of Solitude, I like that. I think there was a time and a place for, like, superhero movies that were grounded in realism. And I think that the audience is ready for superhero films that are literally comic book worlds. And that's the difference between David and Henry's Superman. Henry's Superman was, what would Superman be like in our real world post 9/11? It's very dark, it's very, you know, devoid of hope, all that kind of stuff. As opposed to David's Superman is like, what would a Superman be like from a comic book universe? It's so bright and cheery and full of optimism, and it has different rules and has different problems, and we're invited into this world to check it out. I like that kind of stuff. So that's why I'm not really against the whole, like, oh, you know, this is too much, or this is too much like a comic book. It's like, yes, I'm totally okay with that. I don't mind that. I want to see that. I've already had over a decade of superhero movies grounded in realism. I don't want that anymore. I want the fun stuff that we had in the 2000s superhero movies, but with the costumes to go along with it. Because the 2000s superhero movies didn't have the costumes. They all wore black leather. I failed. It has to be flawless, so... Yeah, I want to see a Batcave with the giant dinosaur. And the giant penny and stuff like that. I think James Gunn is going to give us a really cool Batcave. Because we've already had several Batcaves that are grounded in realism. Tim Burton's Batcave. Bale's Batcave. Shoot. Ben Affleck's Batcave. Even what's his name? Matt Reeves, the Batman, he's a grounded in realism too. He has an old abandoned train station under Wayne Tower that's his Batcave. It's more like a Bat bunker than it is a Batcave. So I want to see a really cool looking Batcave that makes the comic book come to life. We came close with Batman Forever. Batman Forever was pretty eccentric Batcave. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Whoops. No! He doesn't shoot him after that? Oh. Remember, guys, to keep supporting the cat short. It's still got some legs left to it. Thank you, honey. Well. Yeah. Yeah, Red Hood's very challenging to play as. No! Shoot. Oh. Wow, they're being nice to me. Oh, never mind. Now they're like, yeah, you missed. So not only can you get you can't get hit, but you also can't miss. You can't break your combo. The Red Hood, that's super tricky to do. Bah. Hands on the ground where I could see them. Nope. Oh no. Did I get shot? No! No! I'm so close. No. To do it again, man. Nuts! Gotta do it again. You think he had a longer range or something? Yeah. Gotta do it again. We failed. Failure. 10,000 short. Yeah, I was just trying to drop the temperature. Yes, you can. Mm-hmm. Hello.
Simulation activated.
I just randomly woke up.
Woke up a little too early, but... Did you take your BP? Yeah, you did. Yeah, I remember that. Because you were talking about that hours ago. Okay. Alright. No, I don't think so. I'm gonna set up my streams and then... It's rough because, you know, we're gonna... I don't know what's
Like,
gonna...
he should.
But at least we know the Portuguese company pays us, though, because they did pay us for the limited time we were with them, like for June. So that means we should get all of July's payment sometime in August. But it's still annoying because, yeah, we're still down and out, because...
Don't think I'll kill you.
I didn't mean to bring it up.
Oh no, you didn't do anything wrong. I was just responding to the email. No. Let me try again. Hi, Luke and Amber. Hello. Amber woke up a little bit too early. But she did go to bed around 7, so she did get some sleep, but she doesn't work till 4. And she doesn't leave here until 3 something. It's not personal. Dang it. Got shocked.
Simulation activated.
Sorry guys, it's been a over 3-hour stream and I still haven't hit 1,000 views yet, so I get kind of locked in when things are underperforming. Because I should have hit 1,000 views by now, but nope. It's like Breath of the Wild yesterday. Yeah, the gifted memberships helped a lot. Gifted memberships brought the stream up from, I forget when the gifted memberships happened. The stream, I think, was around 650 views and it was stuck. And then the gifted memberships happened and then the views started to click up to around like 715, 730, something like that. And it's been, you know, kind of gradually going up, but not really. Last night's Zelda stream was 4 hours, and I didn't hit 1,000 views.
I'm gonna cut you up. Go on, charge.
No, there's no people around. I've already been over this one.
No match for you.
And also, it's like people want to see new games. But there are no new games yet. Donkey Kong, like if I milk Donkey Kong a little longer, but you know, when I started doing the post game, nobody cared. Droggle is doing a ultimate for Donkey Kong. Droggle, you still here? What day did you want Donkey Kong? Was it tomorrow? I thought I saw Droggle earlier. We were talking about he was in the chat. Yeah, I don't know if he's still here or not. I have to check and see. Because I have ultimates all this week. I just don't remember who's who. I have Droggle, I have Jotaro, I have Drums of Kirk. I have James. Yes, sir. Droggle, are we doing your Donkey Kong thing tomorrow night? Like Monday? Oh, so close to finishing this. Not the stream, like this. Sure. I That'll take an hour though.
Don't make me pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Killing you means nothing to me. Remember that.
So close. Hmm. Careful. Oh no! Yeah! I finally finished this level! Oh my gosh! I've been stuck here for 35 minutes. Stupid Jason. Okay, so the name of the game is we're doing what, Drago? Just destroy the layers? What do you mean by that? You know what? We'll figure it out tomorrow. Like, so it's gonna... Most likely, tomorrow's streams are gonna be Fantastic Four, Arkham, because, I mean, this did get 900 views in 3 hours. Maybe it'll get 1,000 views. So, Fantastic Four, Arkham... and then Drago's stream. And that's it. And those are the only streams that I'm doing tomorrow. And people asking about Batman on the other channel. You guys got 600 views over there. Yep. I don't get it. I started making content over there and then I lose subscribers. It doesn't make any sense. I just don't get this. I don't get the O1 channel at all. I work over there, I lose subscribers. I gain a little bit of money, but not much. Make it make sense. I know, that's exactly what they wanted, and yet I lost 175 subscribers over there. As soon as I started posting my Arkham uploaded series. Irritating. Why are you still saying it's a 4-hour stream? It's not a 4-hour stream. Whatever. So it still hasn't cut out. Good job on the shorts, guys. So YouTube has been stuck processing Zelda and Mario Jamboree for days. A whole day. So that means there's a problem with their editor program. Processing will begin shortly? What? Huh? Okay, the Donkey Kong finale is now 1 hour and 44 minutes. Yep. Okay, whatever. Why are you shaking your head? You did good. You got 60,000. Considering how rough around the edges this is, I'd say you did pretty well. Lighten up, Jason. Wait, how in the world are they gonna have Jason do Predator stuff when he has barely any gadgets? Explain that to me. Guess we'll find out tomorrow, because tomorrow will be Jason Predator. Yoink.
You ready for a shock?
Dark and mysterious walk. Yaha! Doesn't matter, I scored. I win. Doesn't matter if you shot me, I still win. Winning. Oh, there's another one. Okay. Slow on the draw there, man. No! Just kill me. Just kill me. I'm a DC guy, but I'm more of a Batman guy than DC guy. Even though Batman is DC, whenever somebody says, "Are you a Marvel or DC guy?" I say, "I'm a Batman guy." Because I like Batman characters more than DC. For me, there's 3 choices. Batman, DC, Marvel. I like Batman more than DC characters. More than Marvel characters. Would I be interested if what? Image Comics did something? No, I don't really care. I don't read independent comics. I didn't grow up reading Image Comics or any of those like third parties back in the day because most of that stuff was really raunchy. Like if you were reading like Image Comics and like all that other stuff in the 90s, then you were getting exposed to a lot of stuff that they wouldn't show in mainstream comics. Like they were very adult books, so I didn't grow up reading that stuff. I wasn't allowed to. I went to a comic book store and in I think it was Albany. My dad was with me. And I was in the comic book section and they had a 18 and up thing. And we were like, what are they talking about, 18 and up? And Dad's like, they don't do that in comics. So picked up a comic, and it was pretty bad. And my dad was like, what? He says, it's a comic book. I said, this ain't for kids. But my dad learned real fast what companies were okay for his kids to read and what companies weren't. So, you know, I never really got a chance to own any of those comic books. And certain graphic novels, because my parents would screen my stuff to make sure it was okay for me to be reading. Until I was 18, then my dad didn't care as much. Except he said, not in my house. So... ouch! Oh, wait. I don't have to lose when I get punched in the face. Okay. Mission activated. Boink. Boink. Aha! Bang! 50 to go. No, it's we already had this conversation earlier tonight. Marvel movies have their head on straight again. Like every single lie that was said about the Fantastic Four never happened. Ben and Richard are not buddies in that sense. They're best friends. There was rumor spreading that they were going to do like a romance between Ben and you know, Reed. Never happened. Doesn't exist. Was made up. It's false. Sue Storm was going to be this like big like feminist icon for a film set in the 1960s where she's a docile, supportive wife that takes care of their baby, you know. and is very good to her husband and her brother. You know, she's the very exact archetype of how a woman was in the 1960s. You know, so that was a lie. Johnny isn't a womanizer, and he's respectful toward women. No, he's Johnny Storm. He hits on Silver Surfer. You know, all that stuff that they said about the movie was lies. And that's not what the movie is. So, what you're seeing with Marvel films is they're pivoting. They're going back to... They want to go back to the formula that was a billion-dollar success, which is the original Avengers movies, the 2012s, 2015. They're tired of chasing a modern audience that doesn't watch their movies. And James Gunn did essentially the same thing with Superman. Superman is a comic book film about Superman. It doesn't have any, like, current day stuff. Because that country that everybody is talking about is actually from a Superman comic book from the 1940s. You know, it's a made-up country. So people are trying to make like a modern spin that it's supposed to be about this and that. Those countries technically were at war with each other when that movie was in development. But it was between Ukraine and Russia was the big story. And they made this big deal about immigration with the PR, but it's never brought up in the movie. I don't ever remember them calling Superman an immigrant at all. And making any of that statement. They didn't do any of that. So the PR by the actors and the studios hurt the movies more than word of mouth, because word of mouth, both movies are fine. Studios want to make money again. They don't care about nonsense. It doesn't pay the bills. They're going to start, you know, hardlining that stuff. They'll still probably make specialty movies for, like, certain types of groups, but they're not going to make it mainstream anymore. They've lost too much money. Did I beat him or... No, I messed up.
I keep shooting you.
Unraveled what? Oh, the paper towels got unraveled? Ah. Oh, he said it in an interview recently? Well, then those movies that he's a part of are going to do bad. James Gunn's movies, they aren't going to cater to the modern audience anymore. He even said he's going to do comic book stories. James Gunn's... I mean, Kevin Feige has to be careful because... his modern audience push has not been successful. Eternals flopped. Most of the MCU shows did terribly. Captain America 4 flopped at the box office. They didn't even break even. Even when the movie like had reshoots done to get rid of a lot of the problems that the original film had, people still didn't go to see it because they didn't trust it. I gotta do that again. So Kevin Feige has to be very careful what he says because he could torpedo the whole thing.
Simulation activated.
Because if the Fantastic Four was about what they were saying, like if it was for modern audiences and all that nonsense, it would have flopped. The Fantastic Four is going to have a lot of legs because a lot of family people are finding out that it's a family flick. And when I mean a family flick, it's a film about a family dynamic. It's not a family picture. Like, there's a bunch of bad stuff that happens in the movie. But, you know, violence and all this other stuff. At the core of the movie, it's about family. It's like Fast and the Furious. That's a good thing to have, you know? But all that PR nonsense that they were talking about never happened. And if anything, people should be looking at a lot of those YouTubers that, you know, go after woke people. They've been spouting all these lies about the movie that they heard from, you know, PR people and stuff like that, and making the lie even bigger and actually hurting the box office because, like, it's not in the movie. Yeah. So, if Hollywood is smart, they'll go the direction that DC's going. They're going to pivot. And probably the Russo brothers who are making the Avengers movie, they're going to pivot. But everybody else making projects, like people working on Eternal stuff and things like that, that stuff's still going to be weird. Like, you can't stop it completely. You can keep it, like... you have to view the other MCU movies as, like, side stuff. Like, the Avengers stuff is, that's the big Thanksgiving dinner. That stuff has to be flawless. That stuff has to bring in the audience. You can't throw in nonsense. Because that's the core stuff that people are consume. If you want to do, like, Brokeback Mountain Marvel stuff, then it needs to be on a sideshow that no one's going to watch. And no one's really going to care about. That's how you do it. You can still have it. It just can't be... Yeah, it's a niche thing. Niched. I don't like seeing that stuff in movies. Like, when I go to a movie, I don't want to see anything other than what normal people watch at the movies. Like, I didn't see Brokeback Mountain. I knew what that movie was about. It didn't interest me. I don't watch any movies with that stuff in it because it's not me. I'm a straight guy. So I don't care about that stuff. It's good that it exists and there's a group of people that like watching it, but I don't go out of my way to watch or support that. Doesn't interest me. Don't care. I think that stuff needs to be niched. Needs to be a specific audience for that. You don't want to put that stuff in the mainstream because you're just going to ruin your stuff. Because most of America, you have to please most of America and they think like me. I'm your average Joe. I'm as average and Joe-like as you get. You know?
Simulation activated.
As long as you make good stuff and you don't put bad content in, I'm going to support your crap. But if you put in stuff that I don't like, you're going to get the average Joes upset, which is known as the general audience, and they're not going to watch your stuff. It's that simple. It's not hard. Marvel had the formula down pat, and they screwed it up by basically messing with the content of the films. That's what happened. Disney did the same thing. Disney had the family-friendly thing wrapped up for half a century. And then they screwed it up. How can you do that? But they did. That's the kind of stuff that people should be studying in film school, is like, how did Disney screw up so badly that they lost the easiest market in the world to continue to make profits of? They should be teaching that in film school. Because Disney was a generational thing. Your grandparents, or probably great-grandparents at this point, your great-grandparents as teenagers went to the theater, saw Snow White. They had kids. Their kids in the 60s and the 80s or whatever, 70s. They saw whatever movie was back then, Robin Hood. And their kids, they had kids. They saw The Little Mermaid. And their kids grew up and they saw The Emperor's New Groove. You know? And then their kids grew up and they went to Tangled. It was a whole family generational thing, and then Disney kept adding modern audience crap into the movies, and they lost their audience. And they're like, huh, what happened? It's like, really? You can go back and you can place and track the point of origin when you started to screw up, and you still won't admit it. Because you can't admit it. Because you hurt people's feelings. But it's very easy. I'm not even a marketing genius, and I know this stuff. This is just marketing 101. It's common sense. I hold no marketing degree. I worked for Sears Corporate. That's about it. But, you know, kids and families are very easy to market to as long as you don't tick them off. You tick them off, they're going to boycott you forever. And then you've lost... This is what people don't consider when they do this stuff. Not only have you lost, you know, a family, you've lost a generation. Okay? Because the parents who you've ticked off, not only their kids not going to grow up watching Disney and not caring about it, but when they have kids, their kids aren't going to watch Disney. And then you've created this whole black hole thing now. Whereas before it was all the way 100 years ago to like, it went in increments of 15. Boom, 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 boom. And now after like, I think it was, they were reporting losses, like billion-dollar losses, right around the time of the pandemic where they were doing lots of weird stuff in films, introducing characters that identified as this and that in children's movies, and parents started to boycott. So it's been about 5 years. But when you put a stop to that generational stuff, that's it. You might have people right now that are watching Disney stuff, but they're not going to introduce it to their kids. It's not appropriate for kids. You know? And there are still companies making kids shows and stuff like that, but people are very wary of like Nickelodeon and Disney and things like that. So Cartoon Network, they're at a very interesting crossroads where they can steal everybody if they don't screw things up. As well as I believe there's new cartoon stations popping up all the time. Because kids and family are very easy to market to. You just have to make sure that your product goes directly to them and instills not only good moral values, but also something that you know that you can leave your kids in front of the TV to watch. It's Disney. It's fine. That's what a lot of people said for years. Just plop your kid in front of the TV when you go visit relatives, put on a Disney movie, boom. How many of you ever heard that saying when you were a little kid? Your grandparent or your mom would take you over to a friend's house or a relative, and then they would come in with a choice of movies, either on DVD or VHS, and majority of the movies that they would allow you to watch would be Disney films. That doesn't exist anymore. And again, this is all common sense stuff. I'm not like some like master thought-provoking guru. This is just average Joe common sense. But a lot of these executives, they don't think of the ramifications of what this does for generation after generation after generation. They only think about the here and now. So Disney has screwed up their entire future. You know, with conservative parents and parents that are centrists, parents that are blue dog Democrats, independents, all kinds of people. It's not just the modern audience. They've like screwed the pooch with millions of Americans and people around the world that they don't even realize yet. Disney was always a safe bet. It's not a safe bet anymore. Which, if somebody was really smart right now, if you were to completely crush Disney, you would create $1 billion company that would put out family-friendly content, and you would snuff Disney in like 5 years. Like, that's what Elon Musk should be doing, is, or somebody who has like a lot of money. Make a television and animation studio that makes products for like ages 3 through, I don't know, 10 or 11. No propaganda, like from the 2020s. Just like stick to like 90s and early 2000s morality and stuff like that, and you've got yourself like, the audience will come real fast. And then if you keep on that, and then you start releasing movies or video games or whatever, then Disney's cooked. Because Disney's the only game in town right now, and most people are just like... I've even heard from... We have a relative of ours who has like young kids, and they were saying like, well, we still watch Disney, but we only allow them to watch Disney movies up until this point. Like, they'll say they're not allowed to see this movie, they're not allowed to see that movie. They can watch Pocahontas, they can watch Tangled, they can watch Emperor's New Groove, things like that. But some of the other movies that have come out over the past 5 years, they're like, no, they're not allowed to watch that. And they'll never be allowed to watch that in my house. these discussions are going on all over the United States and parts of the world right now. Like, there are still people that are fans of Disney. I'm a fan of Disney, too, of past Disney. But if I had kids, I wouldn't let them watch any of the current day stuff. No way. None of that. They could watch Up, they could watch Emperor's New Groove, they could watch, like, Princess and the Frog, that kind of stuff, but anything after, like, 2000, probably 19, no way. And that goes for what's on TV, too. Because I can't be there to explain all the stuff that they're going to see on TV. Like, no way. They can watch the old stuff, because the old stuff at least had moral values in it. Have them watch He-Man or something. He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformers, the PSAs at the end of the episodes. Disney Junior is still okay? Okay, that's good. That's good to know. I thought Disney Junior went off the rails.
Simulation activated.
That's encouraging. But yeah, it's crazy. But you have to understand that there are forces at work in the world that want to destroy the family dynamic because they don't like it. If they can break apart families and they can, you know, ruin stuff that's been around for centuries and thousands of years, that's a win for them. So the biggest thing that's under attack in this country is families. All the time. Yeah, if you break up the family dynamic, you break up society. Then you can do whatever you want. You can create a new type of society or whatever. But they want to destroy the nuclear family. That's why stuff has been so bad. Is because they don't like it. Boink. Boink. Oh, we finally hit 1,000 views. And we're still under 4 hours. Hooray. So that means there'll be another Arkham stream tomorrow. Because it managed, even though the stream started at like 10 o'clock, it still managed to get 1,000 views before a 4-hour mark. That's a win. Yeah, I know, guys. I'm going to have to let you out. All that fun stuff. Plus, I've been streaming for a while. I need to walk. I need to get more liquid. Because I learned a lot of stuff this past month. If you're dehydrated, you can increase your heart rate up to 130 or 40 beats per minute. And the only way that you can really stabilize your internal organs is by staying hydrated. No amount of medicine that you take is gonna, you know, fix things. You have to have... Because saline is basically like water with stuff in it. Yeah. Yeah, but if you really look at stuff, like, Hollywood has been at war with family, like the family dynamic. Parents, kids, grandparents, all that other stuff. The generational thing for about 8 or 9 years now. And there's a lot of TV shows that make fun of normal families. Because they're trying to tear down that establishment because they don't want that anymore. Well, I mean, most people want that, but people in power don't want that stuff because it goes against their narrative. Yeah. Also, when you're in trouble, they don't want you to run to your parents when you need help. When you're having financial problems or when you're in, you know, medical stuff or whatever, they don't want you to rely on family. They want you to rely on government. They want you to rely on programs. They want you to rely on your teachers. They want you to hate your family. It's very easy to understand what's been going on for a very long time. But now what's happening is they're seeing a pushback because Hollywood needs to pivot or they're going to go out of business. So you're going to see more wholesome stories that aren't really going to bother people because, you know, they have to make money. They have to find a way of convincing families and, you know, people to support their products again. Yeah. They thought average Joes would be, like, easily manipulated and that we're all stupid and, you know, we're just going to go by what modern society standards are and we're just going to throw away all our, you know, things that we grew up with. And they were very shocked to learn that, you know, there was a pushback. Yeah. Corporations don't realize that average people are a lot smarter than they give us credit for. You know? That's the funny thing. Alright, so let's set up Fantastic Four for tomorrow. I'll make a cool picture of Jason Todd. We're going to be trying Jason Todd's challenge. Excuse me, his Predator stuff tomorrow, which I don't think is going to be very much. So we're going to find a cool picture of Jason to put on the thumbnail. Probably be AI, I don't know. Like, I didn't really attract people with the current thumbnail, so I'm going to have to tweak some stuff. That's just how it is. That's how YouTube is these days. Like, AI is a huge force. I like some things about AI, but I don't like a lot of other things about AI. Like, YouTube, like, judges your algorithm based on if you're using AI images or not now. They even ask you, they're like, is this an AI image or is this a regular image? It's like, this is a regular image. And it's like, okay. Then you have 30 people watching, whereas if you say AI, it's like 100 people watching. It's crazy. I can't keep track of all this different stuff. It's too much. Too much. I liked when YouTube was so simple. Make a video, people watch it. Go live, lots of people see you live. Now it's all different. Now it's all schematics. Ratios and data charts and all kinds of stuff. It's very complex. Wait, no, I didn't mean to do that. I'm not going live at 3 a.m. No. That's supposed to say 3:30. 1 second, guys and gals. That's wrong. Don't migrate over there. That's not. I ain't streaming at 3:30 in the morning. Okay, there we go. I mean, 3:30 p.m. 3:30 p.m. is fine. That's true. Yeah, that's true. But the thing is, Disney's not going to be around for long. And the only reason Disney made like almost $1 billion on that Lilo and Stitch movie, if you listen to what the people are saying about the movie, most people that are still decent humans don't like the idea of what they did to Lilo and her sister. Like, it may not seem like there'll be ramifications for that, but there will be later on. Just like Captain Marvel made $1 billion, right? The very first one. It was a very mean-spirited movie. How did Brie Larson's next outing as Captain Marvel go? It didn't go well, did it? So, even though it looks like evil corporations are winning, right? People take note. Like, average day, regular Joes pay attention to what's happening. And they remember things. And the next time that Disney releases, like, a movie that is, you know, geared towards whatever, people are going to realize that they're just going to do the same thing that they did with Lilo and Stitch. You know? Like with the live action. People aren't as dumb as, you know, folks think they are. Like, a lot of these suits think we're really stupid. Because people with the Brie Larson thing, even though the Marvels movie wasn't as bad as her first one, they boycotted it. And you know they boycotted it because it didn't make $1 billion. It flopped. Why'd it flop? Because people didn't like Brie Larson based on everything she did with the first Captain Marvel movie. She was just insufferable. Even though she fixed her brand image later, she did a lot of PR with Nintendo. She wore a lot of dresses that were very revealing. She did a complete pivot. People still made up their mind about that actress. People are very fickle if you get them annoyed. And there's a lot of people still talking about, everywhere I go on Twitter where people are talking about Lilo and Stitch, people are still talking about how mad they are that they ruined the sisterly relationship between those two characters. They do not like that. So that will have consequences later on. It always does.
Well, I'm gonna go to sleep, but yeah, I get it. Like sometimes the actors, it's not their fault, but I do think that you can blame the actors because look at in the Snow White movie, you had Gal Gadot and you had the other girl. I don't remember what her name is.
I don't know.
Rachel Zegler. They had two different approaches to how they tried to push woke stuff in that movie, but the two women had two different ways of handling it. Gal Gadot just kept her mouth shut and just did her job, whereas Rachel, she leaned into the propaganda and embraced it. So I really feel like you can blame the actors, especially when they're all enthusiastic about like, yeah, you know,
You don't have to give examples.
You know, we're just gonna tear apart the family unit and show how stupid families are, and this is great. And they're like, you know, they're talking about propaganda in their interviews, so you can blame them for that, especially when they're all into it. You know, they're following the corporation instead of, you know, regular values.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, guys, you're gonna have Fantastic Four tomorrow. We have not seen First Steps yet, so rule of thumb on this channel, guys: no spoilers on Fantastic Four for 2 weeks. Just as a courtesy to people who haven't seen the movie. If you want to talk about the Superman movie, you know, feel free to, but this stream is ending. The Superman movie's been out for over 2 weeks, so the spoiler limitations have been lifted. Like, people can talk about whatever they want. But the Fantastic Four movie literally just came out this weekend, so we want to keep spoilers to a minimum, or like none at all. And I'm not like mad at anybody or anything. I'm just saying, like, as a courtesy, I think that's a good thing, because there's a lot of people that should go see that movie. It's, you know, that kind of stuff. So, alrighty, okay, you guys have a wonderful night. That's it for me. 1A, 1A, 1A. Yeah. Yeah. Fighting injustice stuff. Yep. Okay. Alright, guys. I'm gonna get something to eat, and I'm going to bed. So that's it for me. Yep, have a good one, people.